Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real English Practice. I am Emma, and today we are going to practice my weekend story in simple English. This lesson is for beginner and intermediate learners who want to describe weekends clearly, naturally, and confidently. Weekends are great for English practice because they include rest, family, friends, food, shopping, cleaning, hobbies, feelings, and plans. Take a slow breath. Relax your shoulders. Today we will turn one simple weekend into a useful English story. Many learners can say, "My weekend was good," but then they stop. They do not know how to continue. They need simple words, time phrases, and easy story patterns. A weekend story does not need to be exciting. It can be about staying home, cleaning your room, cooking, visiting family, walking outside, studying English, or resting. The important thing is to organize your ideas. First, say when it happened, then say what you did. After that, say how you felt. Finally, say what you learned or enjoyed. Let us start with useful weekend words. Weekend means Saturday and Sunday, or the days when you do not usually work or study. Relax means rest your body and mind. Plan means something you decide to do. Errands are small jobs outside the home, like buying food or paying a bill. Chores are small jobs at home, like cleaning, washing dishes, or doing laundry. Free time means time when you are not working or studying. These words will help you talk about your weekend in simple English. A very useful sentence is, "Last weekend I," say, "Last weekend I stayed home. Last weekend I visited my family. Last weekend I cleaned my room. Last weekend I studied English. Last weekend I went shopping. Last weekend I cooked dinner." This pattern is easy and powerful. You can begin many weekend stories with it. If you want to talk about this weekend before it happens, say, "This weekend I am going to," "This weekend I am going to rest." "This weekend I am going to practice English." Now let us practice time phrases. On Saturday morning, on Saturday afternoon, on Saturday evening, on Sunday morning, on Sunday afternoon, on Sunday night. These phrases help your listener follow the story. You can say, "On Saturday morning, I cleaned my room. On Saturday afternoon, I went to the market. On Saturday evening, I watched a movie. On Sunday morning, I visited my uncle. On Sunday night, I prepared for the week." Time phrases make your English organized and easy to understand. Now, let us begin a sample weekend story. Listen first, and do not worry about every word. Try to understand the main idea. Last weekend was simple, but very nice. On Saturday morning, I woke up a little later than usual. I did not rush. I washed my face, made tea, and sat near the window. The house was quiet, and I felt calm. After a busy week, I needed a slow morning. I looked outside, listened to soft music, and enjoyed my breakfast. After breakfast, I decided to clean my room. My desk was messy. Messy means not clean or not organized. There were papers, books, pens, and old cups on the table. I opened the window and started cleaning. First, I put the books on the shelf. Then, I threw away old papers. After that, I cleaned the table and organized my notebook. It took about 1 hour. When I finished, my room looked better, and my mind felt lighter. A clean room helped me feel peaceful. At noon, I helped make lunch. We cooked rice, vegetables, and chicken. I cut vegetables, washed dishes, and set the table. Set the table means prepare plates, spoons, cups, and food before eating. During lunch, I talked with my family. We talked about the week, the weather, and our plans. The conversation was simple, but warm. I felt grateful because I had time with people I love. Grateful means thankful. Sometimes a good weekend is not about doing big things. It is about enjoying small moments. On Saturday afternoon, I went to the market. I needed to buy fruit, bread, and tea. The market was crowded. Crowded means full of people. I walked slowly and looked at different shops. I asked, "How much are the apples?" The seller said the price, and I bought some apples. Then I bought bread and tea. I also saw a small notebook, and I decided to buy it for my English practice. It was not expensive, but it made me happy. When I came home, I felt a little tired. I put the food in the kitchen and made another cup of tea. Then I opened my new notebook and wrote 3 English sentences. Sentence 1. Today, I went to the market. Sentence 2. I bought fruit, bread, and tea. Sentence 3. I felt happy because I practiced English in real life. These sentences were simple, but they were my real life. That is why they were useful. Real English comes from real moments. On Saturday evening, I watched a movie with my family. The movie was funny, and we laughed many times. I did not understand every English word in the movie, but I understood the story. That was enough. Sometimes learners stop watching or listening because they miss some words, but you can still enjoy and learn if you understand the main idea. I wrote down one phrase from the movie. Take your time. It means do not rush. I liked that phrase very much. Before sleeping, I reviewed my day in English. I said quietly, "Today was a good day. I cleaned my room. I went to the market. I bought a notebook. I watched a movie." I learned one useful phrase. I feel tired but peaceful. Then I wrote a short plan for Sunday. Tomorrow, I will take a walk. I will study English for 20 minutes. I will prepare for the new week. This small review helped me sleep with a calm mind. On Sunday morning, I woke up early. The weather was nice, so I decided to take a walk. I put on comfortable shoes and went outside. The air was fresh. Fresh air means clean, cool, pleasant air. I walked near my home and looked at the trees, cars, and people. While walking, I practiced English in my mind. I said, "I am walking outside. The weather is nice. I feel calm. I can hear birds. I can see people going to work." Walking and speaking in English is a great practice. You do not need a classroom. You can describe what you see. I see a shop. I see a child. I see a white car. I see a man selling fruit. You can describe what you feel. I feel relaxed. I feel awake. I feel ready for the day. This practice is simple but powerful. It connects English with your eyes, your body, and your real life. That makes vocabulary easier to remember. After my walk, I came home and had breakfast. I ate bread, eggs, and tea. Then I opened my English notebook. I reviewed 5 sentences from the day before. I went to the market. I bought fruit. The market was crowded. I learned a new phrase. I felt peaceful at night. After reviewing, I added 5 new sentences about Sunday. I took a walk. The weather was nice. I practiced English in my mind. I ate breakfast. I studied for 20 minutes. This is how a weekend story can become English practice. You do something. Then you describe it. You write simple sentences. Then you repeat them aloud. You do not need difficult vocabulary. You need real sentences. If you went to the market, write about the market. If you cleaned your room, write about cleaning. If you rested, write about resting. If nothing special happened, write, "I stayed home and rested. It was a quiet weekend." Quiet weekends are also good stories. On Sunday afternoon, I called a friend. We talked for about 15 minutes. I asked, "How was your weekend?" My friend said, "It was busy, but good." Then my friend asked, "How was your weekend?" I said, "It was simple but relaxing. I cleaned my room, went to the market, and practiced English." This answer was short but complete. It had a feeling and 3 details. If someone asks about your weekend, do not answer only good. Say, "It was good because," or "It was simple but relaxing." Let us practice common weekend questions. How was your weekend? It was good, thank you. What did you do? I stayed home and rested. Did you go anywhere? Yes, I went to the market. Did you meet anyone? Yes, I met my friend. Did you study English? Yes, I studied for 20 minutes. Was it relaxing? Yes, it was very relaxing. These questions are common in real conversations, especially on Monday. People often ask about the weekend at work, school, or online. Now let us practice better answers. Question: How was your weekend? Short answer: It was good. Better answer: It was good but a little busy. Strong answer. It was good but a little busy because I cleaned my room, visited my family, and prepared for the week. Another question. What did you do? Short answer. I rested. Better answer. I rested at home. Strong answer. I rested at home because I had a very busy week. Add details and reasons to sound more natural. On Sunday evening, I prepared for the new week. I washed my clothes, organized my bag, and checked my schedule. Schedule means a plan of times and activities. I wrote 3 important tasks for Monday. Then, I prepared my clothes for the morning. This made me feel organized. Organized means ready and in order. Many people feel stressed on Sunday night because Monday is coming. But a little preparation can make Monday easier. After dinner, I spent 20 minutes studying English. I listened to a short lesson and repeated 5 sentences. I also recorded my voice. I said, "Last weekend was simple, but relaxing." On Saturday, I cleaned my room and went to the market. On Sunday, I took a walk and prepared for the week. I felt calm and grateful. Next weekend, I want to visit a friend. When I listened to my recording, I heard some mistakes, but I also heard progress. Progress means improvement. Sometimes progress is small. Maybe you remember one new phrase. Maybe you speak for 30 seconds without stopping. Maybe you answer one question better than before. Small progress is still progress. At the end of my weekend, I felt proud because I used English to describe real life. I did not wait for a perfect topic. I used my own weekend. That is one of the best ways to learn English. Now let us learn important phrases from this story. A slow morning means a morning without rushing. A quiet weekend means a weekend with rest and calm activities. Run errands means do small tasks outside the home. Do chores means do small tasks at home. Catch up with a friend means talk to a friend after some time. Prepare for the week means get ready for Monday and the coming days. These phrases are useful for weekend stories. Let us repeat some weekend sentences. Repeat after me. Last weekend was simple but relaxing. On Saturday morning, I cleaned my room. I went to the market in the afternoon. The market was crowded, but interesting. I bought fruit, bread, and tea. On Sunday morning, I took a walk. I practiced English in my mind. In the evening, I prepared for the week. I felt calm and grateful. Next weekend, I want to rest and study English. Now let us imagine a learner named Daniel. Daniel wants to speak English, but he thinks his life is too normal. He says, "I have nothing interesting to talk about." One Monday, his teacher asks, "How was your weekend?" Daniel says, "Good." Then he stops. His teacher smiles and says, "Daniel, tell me 3 things. What did you do on Saturday? What did you do on Sunday? How did you feel?" Daniel thinks for a moment, then he tries again. Daniel says, "On Saturday, I stayed home and cleaned my room. On Sunday, I visited my cousin and drank tea. I felt relaxed because I did not work." His teacher says, "Excellent." That is a weekend story. Daniel feels surprised. He thought a story had to be long and exciting, but now he understands that a simple story with time, action, and feeling is enough. After class, Daniel writes his weekend story in his notebook. The next week, Daniel practices again. This time, he adds more details. "Last weekend, I stayed home on Saturday morning. I cleaned my room because it was messy. In the afternoon, I watched a football match. On Sunday, I visited my cousin. We drank tea and talked about our family. I felt happy because I spent time with someone I love." This story is still simple, but it is much better than only saying good. After 1 month, Daniel has 4 weekend stories in his notebook. He learns many useful verbs: stayed, cleaned, visited, cooked, walked, watched, rested, studied, prepared, called, bought, talked. He also learns feelings: relaxed, tired, happy, calm, proud, bored, busy, grateful. His weekend stories become easier because he repeats similar patterns. He notices that English speaking is often pattern plus details. When the pattern is ready, speaking feels less scary. You can practice like Daniel. Every Sunday night or Monday morning, write your weekend story in 5 sentences. Sentence 1, Last weekend was. Sentence 2. On Saturday, I. Sentence 3. On Sunday, I. Sentence 4. I felt because. Sentence 5. Next weekend, I want to. This simple structure gives you past, feeling, and future practice. It also prepares you for real Monday conversations. When someone asks, "How was your weekend?" you will be ready. Let us build your weekend sentence bank. Last weekend was good. Last weekend was quiet. Last weekend was busy. I stayed home. I visited my family. I went shopping. I cooked dinner. I cleaned my room. I watched a movie. I took a walk. I studied English. I called my friend. I felt relaxed. I felt tired. I felt happy. I felt grateful. I prepared for the week. Next weekend, I want to rest. Keep these sentences ready. Now let us practice connectors. Connectors join ideas. Use and, but, because, so, then, after that, and finally, I cleaned my room and cooked lunch. I was tired, but I felt happy. I stayed home because I needed rest. It was raining, so I watched a movie. First, I had breakfast. Then I went shopping. After that, I called my friend. Finally, I prepared for Monday. Connectors make your weekend story smoother and more natural. Now, let us do final speaking practice. Answer these questions aloud. How was your weekend? What did you do on Saturday morning? What did you do on Saturday evening? What did you do on Sunday? Did you go anywhere? Did you meet anyone? Did you study English? How did you feel? What did you learn? What do you want to do next weekend? Pause when you need time. You can answer simply, "My weekend was quiet. I stayed home. I felt relaxed." One more helpful practice is the 3-level weekend answer. Level 1 is short. My weekend was good. Level 2 adds details. My weekend was good. I cleaned my room and visited my family. Level 3 adds feeling and reason. My weekend was good because I cleaned my room, visited my family, and felt relaxed after a busy week. Use Level 1 when you need a quick answer. Use Level 2 for friendly talk. Use Level 3 when you want to practice longer speaking. Another good exercise is weekend photo speaking. Look at one photo from your weekend. Maybe it is food, a street, a room, a cup of tea, or a family moment. Describe it in English. Say what you see. Say where you were. Say what happened before and after. Say how you felt. A simple photo can create a story. For example, "This is my tea. I drank tea on Sunday morning. I felt calm. After that, I studied English." This is easy and real. Here is one more mini pattern. My weekend started with then I, later I, at the end I felt. Example: my weekend started with a slow breakfast. Then I cleaned my room. Later I called my friend. At the end I felt peaceful. This pattern is short, but it helps you speak in order. Use it when your mind feels empty and you need an easy beginning. One clear pattern can save the conversation and give you confidence quickly in a real moment today. Remember, your weekend story does not need to be perfect. You may forget words. You may use simple grammar. That is okay. Focus on communication. Use time phrases, action verbs, feelings, and connectors. If you forget a word, describe it another way. If you make a mistake, continue. Your story belongs to you, and that makes it valuable. Valuable means important and useful. Real-life stories help your English grow naturally. Before we finish, remember this. To talk about your weekend, start with a general feeling, then describe Saturday and Sunday. Add details, feelings, and reasons. Use simple connectors. Practice common questions. Write 5 sentences every week. Record your voice if possible. Thank you for listening to Real English Practice. I am Emma, and I am proud of you for practicing today. Keep listening, keep repeating, and keep telling your weekend story in simple English. Your English voice is growing. One quiet weekend, one real detail, and one confident story at a time.